King Solomon's ring, the legendary seal of Solomon, was more than a symbol of wisdom. It was a weapon of dominion over unseen realms, demons, angels, beasts, elements. But it offered great power with terrible cost. This is the story of Solomon's ring, how it built a temple, ruled the supernatural, corrupted a king, and continues to echo in symbols and lore through the ages. Solomon, son of David, ruled Israel in the 10th century BCE, famous in the Hebrew Bible for his wisdom, judgment, wealth, and for building the first temple in Jerusalem. By most scriptural accounts, Solomon drew divine favor, had the gift of discerning right from wrong, and constructed a house for God unmatched in grandeur. But many Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions, plus apocryphal texts and occult sources, carry shadows of a deeper story. Solomon's power came not merely by wisdom but by command over the spiritual world. One of the earliest and most vivid sources for the supernatural ring is the Testament of Solomon, a pseudepigraphal text written in Greek between approximately the 1st and 5th centuries CE. In its pages, Solomon is granted a magical ring, by some accounts delivered by the archangel Michael, that bears the divine name, a seal that forces demons into servitude. According to the Testament, one demon named Orneus was tormenting a young workman, sucking life from his right thumb, draining food and energy. Solomon, troubled, seeks relief. An angel appears and gives him the ring. The next night, the ring is thrown at the demon, who is bound and forced to reveal his name, his powers, the maladies he causes among men. Then Solomon uses that ring and its seal to compel Orneus to cut stone, haul blocks, and participate in the construction of the temple in Jerusalem. Not with ordinary labors alone, but with demons under compulsion. Once Orneus is bound, Solomon proceeds to force even greater demon lords, Beelzebul among them, to obey, to quarry stone, haul beams, carve pillars, erect walls. At one point, a demon of wind, Ephippus, is captured via a trick. A wineskin is held against the wind with the ring in front, then sealed, carried back to the temple. The unwieldy cornerstone that had defied lifting by any human is moved into place through the force of spirits bound by the ring's seal. Thus, tradition places Solomon's ring not just as ornament or amulet, but as instrumental power, a tool that builds miracles. But the ring is more than building. It grants authority over angels, animals, the winds, the unseen. The seal of Solomon, in Jewish mysticism, is said to let Solomon speak with animals, command wind and water, and subdue spirits, both celestial and infernal. The ring becomes a bridge between the divine and demonic, a pawn of God's name, yet also an object of temptation. In Talmudic legend and Arabic tradition, the demon king Ashmedai, in Jewish tradition, or Asmodeus, Christian Islamic overlay, plays a central part. One account in Gittin 68a of the Babylonian Talmud tells how Solomon uses the ring and a chain to capture Ashmedai, with the ring bearing the divine name, in order to force the demon to assist him in the building of the temple. According to the legend, at one point Ashmedai tricks Solomon into giving him the ring, then swallows it. With Solomon deprived of its power, he wanders, impoverished, until by providence the ring is recovered, often said to have been swallowed by a fish. With it restored, Solomon regains dominion over spirits, beasts, jinn, animals, and reclaims his throne. With it restored, Solomon regains dominion over spirits, beasts, jinn, animals, and reclaims his throne. In Islamic exegesis, particularly tafsir of Surah Sad 38 and others, there is mention of a trial or temptation by which Solomon loses or is tricked in his power. The being Sakhr, rock, is sometimes considered to be a rebellious jinn or demon prince who usurps Solomon's rule via deception. Some accounts identify Sakhr with Asmodeus or Ashmedai, calling him the rock or stony one, because of associations with hardness, with lower nature, with corruption. While the Quran does not explicitly detail a ring in the canonical text in some versions, classical and later Islamic writers and commentators describe Solomon's authority over jinn, winds, animals, birds, and the balance of nature. Authority that is mediated in many tales through a ring or seal. Across both Jewish and Islamic myth, then, Solomon's ring is a tool of dominion, over the seen and unseen, built to compel angels, demons, wind, beasts to labor. It is like a cosmic master key, but with such absolute power comes inevitable danger. In many stories, Solomon's heart becomes hardened by the reliance on supernatural force, pride grows, and the line between divine obedience and arrogance blurs. One tradition has Asmodeus, or Sakhr, tricking Solomon, sometimes disguising himself, sometimes replacing him on the throne for 40 days, while Solomon wanders the land unrecognized. In these tales, the ring's power is so great that whoever holds it rules, even if in the wrong body, even if the rightful king is cast low. The usurper bonus. But the cost to identity, to moral uprightness, to divine favor. In Jewish esoteric lore, the seal is sometimes described as made of two metals, brass or bronze for good spirits, iron for evil spirits. The name of God is engraved, possibly in ancient Hebrew or angelic script. Some traditions hold he was given 4 jewels by 4 angels to control the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water. With one part of the ring he sealed the good spirits, with the other he bound evil ones. The symbol of the ring is closely tied to later mysticism. The seal of Solomon, a hexagram or a pentagram, becomes a powerful talisman. In medieval Jewish Kabbalah, it appears as a protective sign. In Arabic occultism, as an amulet believed to shield from evil jinn or misfortune. Renaissance magic invokes it, grimoires preserve it. The symbol evolves, but its original alleged function remains: command, control, authority. What of Solomon's downfall? The biblical canonical account, in 1 Kings 11 et al., says that Solomon, in his later years, allowed foreign wives to turn his heart to other gods, built altars to idols, and thereby incurred divine anger. But in the traditions involving the ring, the downfall is often tied directly to the ring's misuse or loss. The ring leaves his hand, the power sours the user. Humility erodes, he loses control, his enemies, or his own weaknesses, take secret advantage. Ashmedai or Soccer steals or deceives Solomon. Idolatry enters his household, possibly even unbeknownst to him during a period of symbolic absence, often 40 days. The ring is lost, in water, swallowed by fish, hidden, stolen. Solomon's favor with God wanes, he repents, he returns, but the damage is done. The moral lesson: dominion has limits, absolute power reveals human flaws. Medieval occultists, alchemists, Kabbalists, and mystics preserve these stories through texts, symbols, ritual magic. The seal of Solomon appears on amulets, in manuscripts, in architecture. Jewish mystical works describe the ring marking the name that may not be spoken, a point of access to divine power. Arabic writers record the ring partly brass, partly iron, that it could sign written commands to good genii and evil demons alike. In Western magic, the pentagram variant emerges, especially in Renaissance grimoires, as a derivative form of the seal. The pentagram, hexagram, star, seal, variously adapted, decorated, hidden in plain sight. Was there ever historical evidence of a physical ring? Likely not. Most scholars regard the Testament of Solomon as legend, not historical scripture. It was composed centuries after the events it describes. And yet, even if not real in physical surviving form, its impact on culture is undeniable. The ring becomes a mythic device in stories, a theological metaphor, but also an occult tool. Consider this: power over demons, animals, winds, nature itself. The ring is not merely defiance of mortality. It is a rearrangement of natural and supernatural order. It is the scriptural version of Tolkien's One Ring, a weapon that demands sacrifice, identity, humility, divine favor. Solomon's ring built the temple, but it also built hubris. Solomon's ring ruled spirits, but it also revealed betrayal. Solomon's ring ruled beasts and elements, but when he lost it or used it wrong, it left gaps in his soul. Symbols of the ring survive: the hexagram, seal of Solomon, the Star of David, Muslim talismans, Islamic architecture, Jewish mysticism, Masonic imagery. What was once a ring that bound demons still persists in shape, image, ritual. We live among its echoes. So ask yourself, was Solomon's ring only myth? Was it a forgotten weapon? And if its symbol is everywhere, is it possible the ring's power was never entirely lost? The legends all hint at one thing: dominion, power, destruction, glory. The ring story ends where all great weapons must. With these questions: who holds it now? Who will wield it, and at what cost?